Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I am showing you our grocery haul and meal plan for the week, and I'm also going to throw in a budget-friendly recipe. I'm super excited to be showing you this. If you're new here, we make videos 4 to 5 times a week all about life here in Northern Colorado on a budget. I am always talking about how frugal we really are. So on the channel, we like to prep, we like to garden. I like to offer tips and tricks on how to make your life a bit more sustainable and healthy on a budget, and it is attainable. I got a comment the other week saying that they were disappointed because they thought it would be a frugal grocery haul and they saw grass-fed and organic and thought that it wasn't. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you feel that way, there are ways to do this. There are ways to do this on a budget. You have to shop your sales. You have to use your couponing apps. You can't just walk into a store and buy all name brand items and expect to save money. So I am showing you this haul today to show you how to work around sales. So I went in with no list at all except for a few specialty items from my husband, and I shopped my sale spots first, and that showed me what I could make with certain things I had on hand combined with the things that I got on sale. So I'm encouraging you to do the same. My little one has learned behind me to turn on the television. But I am going to get started here. I will show you what I got in the haul, and I will list the prices unless the price is already on it. And then I will show you our meal plan for the week that is based on the clearance items that we got. I forgot to do that. If you're new here, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. We're a good time, I promise. We are going to get started right over here. We have some super kale and Brussels sprouts. They are organic and they're $1.49. Another thing that was on sale, organic onions. We got 2 of those. Organic sweet potatoes, 2 of those. The whole milk was organic and on sale. I water this down. Honestly, my son can do 2% and he is just fine. So if anything, I see this as a double 2% milk, if that makes sense. Over here, we have some organic bananas also on sale. I'm probably going to stop saying that. Here's the disclaimer. Everything I got was on sale. We have some sourdough bread, and that was $1. We got some pretzels. They were on sale. I'd prefer to make my own, but I grabbed them. We are from PA and we love our pretzels. Shout out to all you Pennsylvania people because pretzels are life and they're delicious. We got some buy one get one free fresh pork. So we just got 2 of those. I make Colorado green chili for my husband with these. Next, we got some organic cheeses. I was excited to finally see those on sale. It's been about a month or 2, but we try and eat organic as much as we can, especially when it comes to our dairy if we're not eating raw. So we have the cheese slices, we have the 2 bars, and then the Colby Jack. Next on the list was some Roma tomatoes. I just needed a few extra for canning tomato sauce this week. We have some cream cheese. We got the Good Culture lactose-free sour cream. We did get some sliced Italian bread for $1.99. I will probably freeze this and then rotate out one of these loaves that I get. Typically, I am buying them, then double wrapping them, freezing them, and I will bring them out as needed, but I'm never paying full price here. I always go to my day-old bread section and grab some of the nicer loaves. Next up, I have the low-fat yogurt tubes. Not too happy about the sugar on here. I'd really like to start making my own yogurt tubes for the kids, but that is a project for another day. So we got some of those. And then the Vital Farms sea salted butter was on sale for $2 off, but as I was there, I saw the truly grass-fed butter, and that was $3.99 reduced. So I went ahead and grabbed 1 for now, 2 for later. So 1 for now, and the rest will be in the freezer. You could do really whatever you want with this. Next up, I got some fajitas. So this is just beef, bell pepper, and onion at $4.20. I will make that tonight. And to accompany that, I got some whole wheat organic tortillas at $1.69. Normally they're $3.29, which is really not that expensive. You could also make your own, but this is a great price. Next up, oat milk for my daughter. Again, going along with the yogurt, it would be cheaper to start making my own. I will look into that and hopefully she likes it. I've tried it once, she did not like. So we shall see what I can do to make that to her liking. Next up, the non-dairy pumpkin spice latte. That was on sale, not too much, but I went in and got myself something nice because it has been a week. Next up, I got some muffins. They were on sale as well, and I believe with the member price, it brings you $1.50 off or something like that. I will put the price right here. Next up, we got some Duncan Hines cake mixes. My husband really loves the cake box cookies that I make, so I grabbed a few of those. And then we got some whole grain wheat bread, and that was on the sale section as well. And then I was excited to find these eggs. We have some organic free range. In my opinion, this is the best that you can get. If it says cage free, it just means they don't live in a cage. That doesn't mean they don't live in a 4x4 box. I try and put my dollar where it counts. If I am going to eat animals, it's really important to me that they are well cared for. So I try my best. And at $2.99, I think this is a great price. Normally they're $5.99. So went ahead and grabbed 2 of those, and that was it. That is all we needed. So this combined with things that we have on hand, and it's not any wild ingredients we have on hand. These are going to be things that everyone can keep in their pantry. I'm talking about canned veggies and different things in the freezer, rices, ways to make your own bread. There are so many items that you can keep on hand that are versatile. And that is another thing that I like to talk about when I'm talking about being on a budget, finding out things that you can make on your own that can be made into many different things. So I hope that made sense. I was a little disheartened to read a comment like that, but you know, when you're on YouTube, you're going to get people with all walks of life. So sorry if you're still here and that disappointed you, but to be honest with you, you really need to go in and check out the channel, see how much we save. I will never pay full price on something, and I think that's important to say because it is attainable for everyone. I am a wife and a busy mom. I am trying to care for our little homestead here, and it is very possible to save money at the grocery store. Let me know if you shop your sales like me. I know back home we have different stores. We don't have a Kroger, so there are items at our local Walmart, at our local Wise, Giant, things like that. So I encourage you to shop your sales, but of course you can do whatever you want with your dollar. With that being said, we are going to get right into our meal plan for the week, and then I will show you this easy recipe. It's so tasty and fun, and it's different, so I'm excited to show you. Okay, friends, here's the meal plan for the week. As always, if you need any specific recipes, just ask me in the comments. I have no problem sharing them and typing them out for you. But this is our meal plan for the week. We did breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I have my little list to preserve and my list to prep. I do have a small helper that has joined us, so I apologize if there's any talking. But we have breakfast here, and we're doing some broccoli souffles. I used to work for Panera Bread, and they would have their souffles every morning. I worked the 5 a.m. shift, so I got to have fun with everyone that came in for breakfast. I really enjoyed that shift. But the broccoli souffle will just have egg in it, a little bit of cheese and broccoli. And then to bulk it up, I do put potatoes in mine. No meat, but for me, I still am not eating eggs, so I'm going to put some chickpea in there and some chickpea flour. You could also put tofu. I've actually been trying to stay away from soy. I think it helps with my cycle, but you totally can if you want to. So broccoli souffles with veggies, and then we're also going to do some fruit. Then we're doing bagels and cream cheese. I'm going to do homemade everything bagels this week. We are not really sweet bagel people, but you could do whatever you want here. You could do cinnamon raisin. That would be really tasty. But we have a bunch of veggies to use up in the fridge, so we're going to do veggie cream cheese with those everything bagels. That's going to be super yummy. On the off days, we're doing bruschetta toast. That is just something I eat every single week. All I do is make some bruschetta and put it over some sourdough toast. Sometimes I add avocado. Sometimes I add some raw cheese. It just really depends on how I'm feeling. And then lastly, I know it's a strange one, but it's called funeral potatoes. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, but it's just potato casserole essentially. Typically they are made with a whole lot of dairy, and I know it would upset my stomach. So what I do is dice my potatoes and use some veggie broth, and then I just add some butter in there and a little bit of cheese. And then to make it creamy, I just use oat milk, but you could use regular milk. I've seen people use cream of chicken or cream of mushroom. We typically don't cook with that kind of thing, but let me know if you have a recipe for funeral potatoes. I would love to know what you put on yours. I believe my stepmother growing up put on cornflakes on top of it, but I could be wrong. Something crunchy. I think crispy onions would be really tasty on that. And then for lunch, we have broccoli, cheese, rice, and we're using everything that is left over from the souffles. So what I like to do is chop all my veggies for the week and use them in a bunch of different recipes. I am working on a meal prep video that will be out sometime this week, so you can see how I do that to save time in the kitchen and save money, because I feel like you can use a lot of veggies to stretch a lot of these meals, make them last longer. But broccoli, cheese, rice is just exactly how it sounds. We are doing rice with broccoli and cheese. Everybody gets some chicken in theirs, and then I just add extra broccoli. Sometimes I add chickpeas in mine. It really depends on how I'm feeling. And then for sandwiches this week, we're doing po' boys. I have a bunch of green tomatoes. I'm going to fry them, and that will be our fried shrimp in a classic po' boy sandwich. So they're really yummy. You make a Cajun remoulade with lettuce, tomato. You can melt some cheese on this, but I really love po' boy sandwiches. They're super tasty. My dad used to fry up fresh caught catfish to put on these, and that would be really good too. Next up, taco salads, and I'm excited about this one because I haven't had it. I don't think I've ever made them on the channel, but you're just doing your typical corn, black beans, and rotel, and that will be your mix. And then you could top it with ranch. I usually top it with a vinaigrette that has some avocado on it, and then I serve it over some spinach with some tortilla chips, and I think it's going to be really, really yummy. Next up, this is from the Grange cookbook. I already see that a child has put a cookie on this, and it is called San Diego salad. So I adapted it a little bit, but basically it's corn, peas, green beans, bell pepper, butter beans, and onion. So to me, it's kind of like cowboy caviar, but in a different way. So that is going to be served on the side. I think that will be really tasty. I love butter beans when they're marinated, so I'm going to add a vinaigrette into this little bean and veggie salad. And then last but not least, tomato, mozzarella, and balsamic over some arugula. I love that just fresh take, and I think it's a good fall transition just because that mozzarella just gives me that savory element. So that is going to be for lunch this week. Next up, dinner. We are having beer battered fish and chips. We have a lot of white fish, the wild caught tilapia that we got, I feel like 2 weeks ago. We are still working on that. It was a huge bag from Kroger, but I'm going to beer batter that because we have leftover beer. My husband and I don't really like light beers or amber beers, so typically if someone's bringing them and leaving them in our fridge, we cook with it. But with that, we're going to have some calico beans. That is kind of like a baked bean, but you have different colors of beans in the baked bean. That's from my Grange cookbook. It's really yummy. If you need the recipe, let me know, and I can tell you in the comments. And then we were lucky enough to get an elk steak from a friend. So we have elk steak in there. I'm just going to fry those up with some sweet potato fries and bush beans. I will probably have some leftovers of something in here. I am not eating elk yet, but my family loves it. So next up, seafood Newburg. Again, this is something that's really cream heavy. This is in my Grange cookbook, but basically you take whatever seafood you have. We have some salmon, we have whitefish, we have wild caught shrimp. I think I'll use all of that, and you can make it into to me, it's like a primavera pasta where you're adding your Parmesan, your olive oil, and fresh basil, a little bit of tomato. But with the seafood Newburg, it calls for, heavy whipping cream and cheese and cream cheese. And this is what I'm talking about when I adapt these recipes. My stomach and my family's stomach just can't handle all of that dairy. So I think I'm going to keep it a little lighter and then not use heavy whipping cream, but maybe some fresh Parmesan. And then last but not least, we are having Swedish meatballs. We also have ground elk in there, so we're just going to use that. And I typically am serving this with pasta or rice, but we have a bunch of gnocchi to use up, so we're going to use that. And I'm going to serve it with some carrots. So that is it for the actual meal plan. And then for preserving this week, so this is going to be upcoming videos, we need to do our tomato sauce, we need to do our bush beans, and we need to preserve our amaranth. I know a lot of you were questioning that. I can't wait to show you how we use that in different ways. And then for meal prep, we're going to do a curry base, an enchilada base, and I really would like to start making some mac and cheese, some freezer mac and cheese, because it saves me time. I do have a lot of time now that I'm home, but I would like to just put these in little casserole dishes and just get them going so we can pop them in the oven for dinner. So I'm going to do a few different varieties, but I need to go to the Dollar Tree and get some aluminum tins so we can put them in the freezer, or maybe I will just put them in freezer bags. I'm not sure yet, but it's very easy. You just use dry pasta and then you make your cheese sauce and pour it over. So I can't wait to share those videos for you. I'm going to put this away and let's get right into that tasty recipe. Okay, here's our tasty dinner recipe. I'm excited. It is definitely cooler out today. It is 51 and I am loving it. I just needed something a little savory but a little healthy. So this is what I am doing. I'm taking the super kale and Brussels sprouts that we got. If you can't find it at $1.49, I believe it is sold for $2.49 or $3.49, but you can grab whatever salad starter that you want. Just make sure you have some kale or Brussels in there because you want something of the brassica variety just so it doesn't wilt too badly, because we're going to put this on a sheet pan. I have one sweet potato and then I have some carrots. I did want to do some corn, but I didn't want to overstarch the situation. This will be the topping of a salad. We have some fresh arugula from the garden. We have some hot smoked Norwegian Atlantic salmon here. It is farm raised, but we are trying to make it through. Again, I'm really trying to go with some fresh caught, wild caught items. And then I'm going to do a homemade honey mustard. So we have mustard here, my homemade plant-based mayo, just with some chickpea liquid, aquafaba instead of an egg. And we put in a little bit of maple syrup or honey in there. And then because my husband's not a salad person, we're doing a little bit of fajitas. So he'll do some of the root vegetables, we'll do the steak, and then he'll just have typical fajitas. But I'm excited to share this with you. I think it's going to be really tasty for the fall. Okay, everything is chopped up. I just did cubes, sweet potatoes, some carrots. I threw in some green onions, olive oil, salt, and pepper. This will bake at 400 for around 20 minutes, and then I will go ahead to the garden, grab some arugula, and get that rinsed off. And then I have the fajitas going over here, trying to get them as medium rare as possible. And then the smoked salmon, sometimes I cook it. I also got a comment about that sometime, that someone's never seen anybody cook it. Well, open your mind, because there are a lot of people that cook differently. So I'm not going to cook this time, but you could cook it if you wanted to. I'm going to get the dressing together as well, and I will meet you back here for some assembly. Okay, in my salad bowl, I have some arugula, just some salad bowl lettuce that I planted. I went ahead and grabbed some of those amaranth greens from the front. You can eat them. They're a bit bitter, but I really enjoy them. You could also have sauteed that. We have some spinach as well, but they were out in the garden, you never know. So I'm going to do a splash of vinegar here and let them soak in water, and then I will dry them off as best as I can and assemble my salad. We are assembling the fajitas. My husband's out in his little shop kind of working on things, so I'm going to bring this to him. I'm going to put some steak on it, but first we are doing some sour cream on the bottom. And we also have some homemade salsa from the garden here. I canned a bunch of it, and I'm already digging into the stash, but we have about 35 jars, so we shall be just fine here. And then the steak goes on top of this. Okay, steak is on, and then we will do some salsa on top. I just have zucchini bell pepper, tomato, onion, 1 jalapeno because we're wimps. I'm sorry, I'll speak for myself. I'm a wimp. And some cumin and some spices. So I'm gonna roll these up. He's a plain type of guy here. He doesn't really like lettuce or anything like that. And then I'm gonna plate the, I guess you could call it like a fall roasted vegetable salad. That's what we're calling it. So I'll be right back. Okay, everyone is fed and I'm gonna do my all by my lonesome salad. No one really wants any of this. They had some of the sheet pan veggies, but I am going to put my salad greens down. And then what I like to do, especially with the more bitter greens like arugula, is just massage my dressing into this. This is like a dill aioli, and all I'm gonna do is just add some mustard to it, and then I will mix it up. I decided there will be a lot of sweetness here from that sweet potato and the carrot, so I'm probably not going to add that honey or maple, but you totally could. I did end up putting a little bit more dressing than I normally would because I really like those sheet veggies to be I guess covered with the dressing as well. So I always make a little hole in it and then put the veggies in there. Okay, so here is that, and then I'm gonna put some smoked salmon on top. This is really tasty with avocado, with shredded apple. It's very good with this. You could top it with some walnuts, or like a sharp cheese or a goat cheese would work well with this, but I love this salad. Great way to get in greens. I wish I could say that my kids love the bitter greens, but they don't. But they like their spinaches and lettuces and things like that. So I'm going to chow down on this. It will be very filling, and I hope this gave you some inspiration to kind of think outside of the box when it comes to fall recipes, because I have been seeing a lot lately and there's just so many variations that you could be doing with these. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you did in the comments below. Okay, I got a chance to taste this. It's phenomenal. I really encourage you to add that mustard to it. It just gives those greens an extra flavor. I will say the amaranth is just a little tougher. I've eaten it in salads before, but I think I massaged the olive oil a little more into it, if that makes sense. So if you have random amaranth leaves on hand, I know it's a little unique to have in the garden. I would suggest putting them on the sheet pan with it. They're still edible. It's just a little different, but the warm and coolness, the mustard with the smoked salmon, it's just so good. I really encourage you to try this one. We are sitting here meal planning and eating our quesadillas and just having a good time. I love sharing this little part of Delilah. She is such a cuddler. She has always, since the beginning, always needed to touch some part of me. So this is typically how we're eating dinner. Okay, everyone, that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this budget-friendly grocery haul. I hope this inspired you, or maybe you learned a thing or two about shopping your sales, using those apps, and then finding things that you can keep on hand that are still budget-friendly that you can utilize. So I always am checking my shelves. I'm creating these larger pantries at a fraction of the cost just so I can take from them in case of emergency. So again, let me know what sales you shopped this week. I will be seeing you soon because we have so much content to show you all about food preservation, saving money, and really just prepping for the winter season. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.